everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Gabriel Visiontoon Lamette. I'm so happy that you tuned in for this Worthy of Wellness segment. And what I want to do is actually get into something. I was inspired the other day. I was sitting there, woke up one of those days, and my wife told me there's a documentary you have to check out. It was on PBS at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh, okay. And she said it was called Blood Sugar Rising. And I said, all right, definitely, I'll check it out. I went on to work, and then when I came back, she kept talking about it. She started saying that, she was learning things about people that have diabetes type 1 and type 2 that she never ever knew. And she said, I think this would be something that would be very beneficial for you to check out. So we went ahead and found it, and we were able to view it. It's definitely on like KCT or PBS, and then you can also find it on YouTube, actually. And so I looked at that, and I was actually mind blown. I was like, man, for me to be a person who has faced type 2 diabetes, I'm learning stuff off of this documentary that I never knew. I never knew that diabetes is actually so common now, that it used to be something that most elderly people would have, or people who were facing bouts with being overweight. They would definitely have it in most cases. But now they're saying that children are having it. Kids are coming to school and they have type 2 diabetes and they have type 1 diabetes, and it's so sad and it's so scary. And so it really inspired me to kind of share with you what I am doing to control my type 2 diabetes. Now, as many of you guys know, I had always been a meat eater. I was a person who enjoyed definitely being able to have chicken and tuna and steak. I wasn't always the big pork guy, but I would have it sometimes. And so I made the decision to become vegetarian in 2019. And then, as many of you also know, I got with a nutritionist who was able to really hone things in. So about, I think at this point, it was almost about 3 weeks ago, I had my follow-up where they were able to take my A1C and everything like that. And the last time I had actually had my readings, it came in at 7.7, and this time it came in at 6.4. My doctor was really happy about that. And then I went ahead and had my meeting with my nutritionist via phone, because obviously we weren't able to meet in person. And she was like, yeah, you're doing good. You've got your blood sugar with your A1C well maintained, and that medicine and eating correctly is working really good for you. And I said, I have a little dirty secret for you. And she said, what? And I said, I actually, when I ran out of my medication for my blood sugar, I stopped taking it. And this is the reason why, because when I would check my blood every single day, my blood, even before I would eat in the morning, where before I used to be happy that I would have like 120 or 115, it's now between 75 and 92 nowadays. And I realized, and I wanted to kind of do my own self experiment to see if I stopped taking the medicine for 30 days, because that was about the time gap of my medicine versus when I did my labs, to see what that would end up doing. And she said, that's amazing. She said, so practically your blood sugar was based on your diet and your portions and all of that stuff, and it's now all come together. And I said, that's what I found as well. And I thought about, after I hung up with her, I was feeling happy, and I started thinking about the fact that I remember one of those days I was looking at the news, and it said the majority of people who have diabetes, it can actually be controlled by your food. Now, for me, I'm just going to really reflect on the type 2 diabetes, because first of all, I'm not a doctor, and secondly, I've never had type 1 diabetes to really be able to give a bunch of insight on it. But I'm just really going based on my experience with having type 2 diabetes. It was all food related and food based. I had to start focusing on many different things as far as what I would take in every day. It was my calories. So my nutritionist put me on a 1,600 calorie diet per day. so I could drop the weight and everything like that. But then I also did my own homework of looking into how much sugar I should have for a person that has had any problems with diabetes. And so I found out that it was 36 grams. So then I don't go over 36 grams of sugar per day for my sodium. I don't go over 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. I make sure that I keep my fat at 50 grams and lower. And then I make sure to control how many carbs I'm having at every single meal. And I make sure that I don't go over about 50 to 55 grams. I try to actually keep it around 35 within that area. But doing all of those things and putting it together, and then making sure that I keep my meals between no earlier than 8:30 and no later than 6:30, it has done the work for me. And so with doing all of those things with my diet, as many of you also know, I do a workout every single day. I've said this before in my videos, you should at least be getting 30 minutes of cardio every single day. What I do on my day, that's my off day from my MMA fitness, I do my workout bike for 30 minutes while I'm watching something on TV, and I keep on going with my day. But doing all of these things together and keeping myself disciplined and looking at what I'm taking into my body has been the thing to actually bring my A1C down. And I can't wait for the next 30 days because they want to test me again. I think my results will be even greater because I'm losing the weight. I don't have all of the issues that I was having before. My blood sugar is always staying within range and it balances itself out. So if you're a person that's having struggles with type 2 diabetes, I would definitely say start with the whole sugar factor. Let's have you just at least start there. 36 grams of sugar. Look at what you're eating in a day, and that's going to tell you how much you're actually having as far as sugar intake is concerned. And then again, I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it until they say you can't be on YouTube anymore, Gabriel. Get you a nutritionist so they can tell you exactly how many calories you should be taking in, and then start doing your own homework on good proteins, on how much fat, all of those things. Because if you get your diet in order, then your blood sugar will definitely have to fall in line. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me, and let's get healthy and get our bodies in check.